So we're now down to the final four of who will be on the cover of Madden 13, and no matter who wins, we're going to see a player who is an absolute beast in the NFL and in Madden. So beginning with Cam Newton, this guy is the perfect cover athlete for the NFL and EA. A rookie comes into the league and performs the way Cam did, breaking numerous rookie records. I mean, this guy threw for 4,000 yards in his first year and completed 60% of his passes. Not to mention, as a quarterback, he ran for 14 touchdowns. 14! Since 2007, only a handful of running backs have scored more than 14 rushing touchdowns in a season. Now, as you can see from the gameplay footage that you're watching of me playing Madden 12, I love using Cam Newton. The guy is so nasty, and to be honest, I much prefer running the ball with him more than I do Michael Vick. At 6'6" and 250 pounds, Cam Newton is bigger than most NFL linebackers, and he's playing the quarterback position. For me, he has shed so many tackles on first downs and runs that end up being scores that is ridiculous. Now, in the game, he's not the greatest at throwing medium length passes, but he's one of the best in the game at the deep ball. Just like in real life, all the guy does is flick his wrist and the ball sails like 60 yards like it's nothing. He's easily one of the most freakish athletes that the NFL has ever seen. Now, the Carolina Panthers last year were hit with so many injuries as a team, they really struggled to win games. But if linebackers John Beeson and Thomas Davis both come back and play at a high level, along with some of the other injured players they had, this NFL team is going to be a real force. Now, as you've heard me say in previous Madden 13 cover videos, I really do think that Steve Smith is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and a few years ago, he was the best. I just love that guy. Now, I'm still a hardcore Miami Dolphins fan, even though our organization is a complete joke right now. But Carolina is slowly becoming my second favorite NFL team, and I can't wait for Madden 13. I can't wait to use the Panthers. Now, if they could just get one more tall wide receiver, they'd be the ultimate team. So at the end of the day, I really do think that Cam Newton will end up on the cover, and if I'm EA, I'm hoping he does, because dude is an absolute beast. So going up against Cam Newton this round is linebacker Patrick Willis, the best Madden NFL linebacker of all time. Patrick Willis making it to the Final Four is awesome. He really does deserve it. Plus, if you remember way back when this cover vote tournament started with 64 players, I said Patrick Willis was my underdog pick to go all the way and win it. And he's actually made it all the way to the Final Four. Now, with all the online franchises and league drafts that I've been in since 2008, not once have I ever seen this guy picked later than the 5th overall pick. Not once. In my eyes, he's the most coveted player in the history of Madden, year in and year out. Just thinking about how nasty this dude is making me want to load up a ranked game right now, use the 49ers, and there's nothing better than using a linebacker, making a mistake, getting blocked, and throwing that block to the ground and making a play anyway, which is exactly what Patrick Willis does. Now, even though I picked Willis as my underdog pick to win the whole thing, there's just no way he has enough star power to get past Superman. Take a look at this catch real quick. I think I'm in perfect position to make an interception, and Calvin Johnson not only jumps in front of me for a sick catch, but he also lays the shoulder into me, crushing Daniel Manning to the turf like I'm a pesky fly in his face, not only scoring a touchdown, but also injuring Daniel Manning for the game. That play was ridiculous, and Calvin Johnson, like Cam Newton, is one of the most freakish athletes the NFL has ever seen. And like Patrick Willis, he's also one of the most coveted players in the history of Madden NFL football over the course of his career. Now, Calvin Johnson is going up against Aaron Rodgers this round to see who goes to the finals, and I think he's got a really good shot. You know how they always say, they give the cover athletes extra love when it comes to ratings? Could you imagine Megatron with that extra cover athlete type boost that they love to give players like they did with Peyton Hillis? That shit would be out of control. Now, the Detroit Lions have sucked so bad for so long that if Calvin made the cover, it would be another sign that things are finally starting to turn around for one of the NFL's all-time worst franchises. At 10-6 last year, it was the first time that the Lions have even been over 500 since they drafted Megatron in 2007. And it was also the first time since 1997, 14 years, that they scored more points than they had given up. So before I move on to Aaron Rodgers, for you league guys out there, I want you to leave a comment here and let me know, what's the most catches, yards, and touchdowns that you've had with Calvin in one season in an online franchise in Madden 12? What a beast. Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers, synonymous with Brett Favre, a legend, an icon. Do you know how hard it is to replace a legend? Look at the Dolphins trying to find the next Dan Marino in Miami. And look at Denver still trying to find the next Elway through the draft. And the Jets, they're still trying to find the next Joe Namath. And Buffalo, the next Jim Kelly. But Aaron Rodgers has made Green Bay fans completely forget about the biggest star in their franchise's history and never looking back. Now, a lot of people think that Aaron Rodgers deserves the Madden cover more than anyone, and I can't disagree. This guy is so efficient, it's ridiculous. It's one thing to have the accuracy he does, and to be able to read a defense the way that he does, but to have those Steve Young legs to go with it, and scramble, and be a double threat. I mean, if I played in the NFL, or was a coach in the NFL, playing against Aaron Rodgers would literally keep me up at nights, thinking, how the heck do you stop this guy? Now take a look at his career stats. The most efficient quarterback in NFL history. Everything about this guy's mechanics is unheard of. He's literally the perfect quarterback. Yeah, I know that's a huge statement, but he is literally the perfect quarterback. Now, after taking a look at Rodgers' stats, take a look at the stats of Joe Montana, who is regarded by most as the best quarterback in NFL history. Now, it's not all about the stats, but when you've already won a Super Bowl in your 20s, and you put up those kind of numbers, it says a lot. So Aaron Rodgers does deserve to be on the cover of Madden 13. The question is, will he?